Hello everyone and welcome back to another science lesson. Today's learning objective then is to understand that sounds come with different pitches. Okay, so reviewing what we learnt last week. When air molecules inside the ear vibrate, they shake tiny hairs on the inside of the ears. The hairs are connected to nerves under the skin, and this information is then translated into your brain, and that's how we hear sounds. Now, here's our quick introduction. A pitch describes how high or low a sound is. A high sound has a high pitch, and a low sound has a low pitch. Listen to these two sounds. Which one has the highest pitch? So hopefully this works. Okay, which pitch is which? So high pitch or a low pitch. Okay, so a pitch describes high or low sound. A high sound has a high pitch and a low sound has a low pitch. Listen again. Okay, so this is our higher pitch. Okay, it's higher, and our lower pitch is lower. Okay, those are our pitches. High pitch sounds are made by fast vibrations. Smaller, shorter, thinner, tighter, and denser objects make more high-pitched sounds. So if you have a violin, a guitar at home, okay, or any sort of instrument such as this, a stringed instrument, the tighter strings will have a higher pitch. Okay, so which object will make the higher pitched sound? If you want to write a quick prediction or hypothesis, that's absolutely fine. Okay, we have a double bass and a violin, so listen to this one. Okay, quite a low one. Oops daisy, that's quite a low sounding pitch, isn't it? So what we might be able to gather from this then is that the violin, okay, which has shorter strings than the double bass, probably tighter strings, is making a higher pitch. In contrast, low pitch sounds are made by slow vibrations. Larger, longer, thicker, looser, and less dense objects make more loud pitched sounds. So which one will make the lower pitch sound? Let's listen to the lorry. Okay, now the car, which will probably still be quite a low pitch. So if we look at it then, larger, longer, thicker, looser and less strength dense. So if you have strings that are larger or longer and are very thick, like you'd see on a double bass or a bass guitar, they create much lower, okay, pitches. They are slower vibrations. Okay. Now, what we would have done, unfortunately, if everyone had been in school, we were going to have a lesson with all of the scrap that we had, and we were going to have a nice little experiment outside to see if we can make our own pitches. Okay, now we were going to grab some objects and we were going to hit them almost like musical instruments to see what pitch each one created. Okay, so I've got my little microphone here in front of me, and I've got a few objects that I have around, and I'm going to see what pitches I can create. So with my pen, I'm going to hit the table. So if we listen in, quite a low pitch. I have my little metal water bottle. What else can I hit? I'm going to hit Miss Nash's laptop. Oh, okay, so our laptop and our table had quite a low pitch, okay, and what we would describe that is, so things like laptops and tables, they're quite dense, they're quite hard objects. Now, my metal flask is quite hard, okay, but that one isn't as thick, okay, as the table. So listen. Okay, so it's quite a high pitch on that. It's also quite thin, the metal. It's quite a large flask, okay, but it's not as large and as heavy as the table, which is much lower in terms of its pitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you somewhere in your home, okay, and try not to annoy siblings or parents when you do this, because I don't want this to be a particularly loud experiment unless you have to. So I would pick 3 objects in your house, okay, and I would write a prediction once you've found your 3 objects. Which one do you think, and you will not need to write the words I predict, will have the highest pitch, and which one will have the lowest pitch? And you need to describe Why? Okay, is it because it's particularly big? Is it because it is very thick material? Is it a tight material? So is it tight like string? And then think about the density, which again is similar to thickness. And what you'll do then is we'll create our own little experiment. So you're going to make your own, and it was going to be a junk instrument, so don't worry, you can ignore that. And the design brief is it produces at least 3 different pitches. Okay, so mine probably wasn't the best because my laptop and table sounded the same. So if I was to hit something else, let me see, if I hit a piece of paper here, that's better, isn't it? So I have the table, the flask, and the paper. Okay, 3 different pitches. And what I want you to do is set up this experiment designed so that all the pitches increase in order. So I'll start with my low one, then to my middle one, and then my highest pitch. And what I want you to do is to design it in a way that somebody else is able to play your little experiment. And as soon as you've done that, if I was you, describe how you conducted your experiment. And if I was you, I would draw some pictures to show the objects that you're hitting. And once you've labelled that, you can then look at today's worksheet. Okay, so here is the sheet that you're going to need for your lesson. Keywords are down here: strength of vibrations, pitch, dense, high or low. Now your first thing to do is explain in full sentences what the word pitch means. Go back to the video and earlier on if you've forgotten. Where in the world might you expect to find a high pitch noise? Okay, how does this object or thing make such a high noise? So go again, look at the video. Think about instruments here if I was you. If you want a challenge though, maybe go for something that isn't an instrument. Solve it. Draw a diagram of your experiment like I just instructed. Which objects had the highest and lowest pitch? And the challenge here is which object had the lowest pitch? Why do you think it produced a low pitch? And then you definitely need to explain using the vocabulary. Why does it have the lowest pitch? Okay, that is everything for today's lesson, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it was fun. Even if you're doing it at home or school, I look forward to seeing pictures and diagrams of what you got up to and how well it went. Okay, thank you so much for engaging in this, guys. You're doing a fabulous job at home. I will see you again very shortly. Bye for now.